Hello. Hello, hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, doctor. Yes.
Eight of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lah. Kata ada 4 orang ni. Inilah. Okay, right. Alright, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon. Alright, so today I'm replacing Dr. Samzi. Okay, so can you guys hear me inside Zoom? Yang online boleh dengar? Okay.
Yes.
Macam biasalah, tak ada respon.
Yes, doctor.
Boleh, doctor. Yes.
Never mind lah, don't care about you guys. Alright, so basically tomorrow you guys gonna have the lecture with Dr. Samji. Basically I'm gonna help him in terms of conducting the lab only. Alright, but I think maybe before we start, it's good that we can recap a little bit lah about what we have learned so far. It's already what 8 weeks kan? Yang ke-8. So it's like another 6 weeks left for your final. Very soon. And then don't forget, I think next week or week after next week, you guys gonna have second test. And then how about the test last time? Is it easy? Hard? It's difficult, right? But actually it's easy, you know. It's quite straightforward. It's just that every marks count. Because if you couldn't answer one of the question, you lose a lot. Because the weightage of that test is about what? 15%, not 10-15%. So I think it's not only you guys, but another batch also, I think a lot of students fail, you know, fail meaning like below 4%. Okay. So I don't know whether that question is too difficult or is it like you guys didn't study at all? Is it too difficult? Highest mark around that lah. But not many lah. 2, 3 only out of 100 plus students. But it's not surprising because other batch, other group also couldn't really score well for that test. If you ask me, it's quite easy. It's just that you need to remember about the formula, right? But it's okay. You guys can try your best again for another test. Second test would be 10% or 15%. And then there's a mini project, but I think let's Dr. Samzi lead the project lah. Kan? All right. Any response or any feedback? Anything that you guys want to comment from the Zoom?
Doctor,
Any criticization?
hello,
Anything
doctor.
like to
Can you
criticize about
Can
the
you hear
question?
me?
None, huh?
Hello.
That's good.
Hello.
All right. So don't want to waste any more time. We're gonna finish early. Maybe gonna take about 1 hour. All right. So all right. So basically, I think you guys have learned the research question and also hypothesis test, right? With Dr. Samji. All right. So basically, just to recap a little bit about what we have learned so far. So you guys know that statistics is all about the collection of the sample out of the population. For example, here, this one I took the image from one of the reliable source. It's very good. Maybe some of you didn't really understand the principle or the concept what statistic doing actually. Because basically in statistic, say again? Tak present? Tak dapat? Tak nampak eh? Oh, saya tak share screen. Kenapa saya tak boleh dengar diorang? Oh, speaker. I need to change my speaker. Hello? Can anyone respond?
Hello. Can you hear
baru
me,
boleh dengar.
doctor?
Wonder lah. That's why I don't like online.
Hello, doctor. Can you hear us?
But hello, hi. Okay, screen tak share, no wonder lah. Macam mana nak share screen ni? Just share screen. Okay, boleh nampak slide We only have 8 students here inside the class. It's good that we have only small members of the class because I used to teach like usually 40, 50. So last time I think the students in one batch only like 20 to 30, but nowadays there are so many students inside class. All right. So anyway, where were we earlier? All right. So you have learned about the hypothesis test. So basically in statistics, you know that we can't measure the entire population. So we need to take the sample, all right, out of the population. And then you need to understand the concept of the random and also representative. It's actually the question from the, what does it mean by random? Lama. Bias is not that accurate, but I accept it actually. But the accurate one is actually every sample has the same chance of getting selected. How about representative? Saya tak sampai. Kenapa tak gambar saya? Representative is the word itself is like explaining the term. Represent. It should represent the whole population that you guys would like to study. For example, let's say you like to study for the test question, it's like want to study for the school, right? The school, I can't remember. Is it what the school obesity? Obesity. So meaning that if you like to study for the context of Malaysia, you need to take for the whole school in Malaysia. But definitely, you cannot take you cannot take all. You need to take it randomly in a way that every school has the same chance of getting selected. Then you study the students there. All right. So, what's new? Why I lose my thing? Tak boleh nak control. Yang mana? Alright, so I would like to jump straight away to the inferential test. Alright, so basically the second half, you guys gonna learn on the inferential test. So you can see through this slide. So basically, before this, you only study on the descriptive side. Descriptive side meaning you only study for one variable. For example, in this case, let's say you are like taking the sample population, then you want to study about the height and weight. That's the response variable, okay, or dependent variable. Then your independent will be, in this case, will be gender and age. But anyway, you guys wanna learn on the inferential statistic for the next 5 weeks. For this slide, I'm just going to summarize a little bit because our today's class is not about lecturing because actually it's late in the afternoon and then Dr. Samdi is gonna teach you guys tomorrow. It's just that I would like to summarize that what you guys wanna you guys have learned and what you guys gonna learn after this. So before this, we learn only on the descriptive side, meaning that you only study the variables, the specific variables. Right now, we like to know whether when we have two different variables, are they different with each other? Okay, for this case, let's say what we're gonna learn for the t-test. Okay, for the t-test, we like to see. Okay, we would like to study one numerical and one categorical. Okay, for example, let's say the categorical part would like to study the gender, and then the numerical part would be either height or weight. You cannot study both height and weight together because for the t-test you only can study two variables at a time. Two variables meaning one independent and one dependent variable. Still remember independent variable? Independent. All right, so let's say for the example here, if let's say that you like to study, if let's say one researcher or there's one researcher who like to study whether which gender actually having this which gender is much taller, okay? Is it male or female? Okay, in this case, what is the independent variable? Banyak ya. One thing at a time only. Gender. Itu pun banyak juga kalau tambah age. Is it gender? How about dependent? If let's say you like to study the height, in this case, the research question here is about the which one is taller kan? Which gender is much taller? Height. But how about if you would like to add another dependent variable? There's another dependent variable that you would like to study. In this case, maybe weight. Can we use t-test? Cannot. You need to use two-way ANOVA. I don't think we cover, I don't think the syllabus cover on two-way ANOVA. But anyway, it is good that you know that there's a two-way ANOVA for if you like to study more than one dependent variable. Okay, for this two variable meaning one dependent and one independent, you only can use either t-test or one-way ANOVA. ANOVA also can be used. But how about if you have more than one independent and then one dependent? If let's say not more than one, like, how about if you have more than one independent and more than one dependent? You guys not gonna learn this. This is much more advanced. You guys gonna learn it in maybe postgraduate certificate or what? It is factorial. Let's say for the example here, if let's say you like to study both age and the gender of the, dah mengantuk dah. Tu tak nak bagi lecture, bagi short je one only. If let's say you want to study both gender, not both, all gender, age, height, weight, you need to use a 2 times 2 factorial, meaning that there are 2 independent and 2 dependent. Anyway, this one not gonna be covered in this syllabus and not gonna be tested in the test, just for you to know only. All right. Actually, I prepare a slide for you to see, maybe, but anyway, Dr. Sam is gonna cover this tomorrow. Let's jump through the t-test. I think this one also gonna be covered by Dr. Shamsi. All right, so now let's go through the t-test first. The lab, because I can see that some of you might not be able to focus because I'm too sleepy lecturing in the late afternoon. So open the SPSS. Okay, Same goes to those who are in the Zoom. Okay, open your SPSS, download two files. There are two files, the test and grades. T-test and grades. Then there's submission that you need to submit. But that one later I'm gonna explain. Okay, can already open. Dah, semua dah open. Okay. Let's do this together. So basically you need to open your practical sheet. There's also a practical sheet of T-test. Oh, I still use IB statistic version of 26. So it might be a little bit different from yours. Take some time. Boleh? Saya tak boleh buka. Kenapa nampak? Kenapa? Tak ada apa pun. Laptop saya hang. So tak apalah. Saya buat lah. Wait. Where's the spaces? So let's go through with the T-test first. Where's the sheet? Macam lagi. Oh, hang. Ini pas opening so many things. Alright, so basically for today's practical, let's go through the learning outcome first. So by the end of this practical, you guys should be able to learn how to perform hypothesis tests. You guys have known about the hypothesis, right? Hypothesis test comparing the difference in means of two samples, paired and unpaired. Okay, we're gonna learn what is the difference between paired and unpaired. What's the difference between paired and unpaired? In a simplest way, paired is by using the same subjects. Okay, unpaired is like you are using a different subject. For example, let's say if you guys want to see the effects of coffee in terms of test result, okay, you're gonna use the same subject before taking the coffee and also after taking the coffee. That's where we use the paired test. Okay, how about if you like to test whether which gender will score which gender scored the best result in test. So that one is unpaired because you guys are using a different subject. Okay. In a simplest term, paired is you are using the same subject. Unpaired, different subject. Meaning that your sample is using different subject. Paired meaning that you use the subject for 2 times. Before taking coffee, and then they take the test, and then after taking coffee, the same subject. And then they are also taking, but it's a different test. The same subject, but they are taking a different test. Number 2, list and describe characteristic of independent and dependent t-test. And number 3, interpret output from SPSS and determine if there are significant difference in means. Okay, let's go through. So basically, before you start with any research, you need to have a research question. Okay, in this practical, basically the researcher would like to test whether is there any difference between height between subject with at least SPM and those with no qualification. In this case, what is the dependent subject? Sorry, what is the independent variable? Ush, the current. Sorry. There's always a leak of current. Same goes to my room juga lah. Kejut selalu. What's the independent? I like to use the independent. There's someone calling from Italy. I don't know whether to take the call or not. Independent? Really scammer lah. Independent. What's the independent variable here? Say again? Bila cakap say again terus tak nak ulang. Education? Mana? Education level lah. Dependent? Dependent in this case the height. Kenapa nak study education level with height? There's no point lah this kind of practical. It's not intellectual enough. Anyway, it's prepared not by us. It's from Faculty of Science. Alright, we just use it. Alright, so before that, we need to do test of normality. Same goes to what you have done in your EDA, exploratory data analysis, because there's an assumption for the parametric test. The most important thing are the normality test. You need to ensure that they are normal. If they are not normal, try to transform first. And only then, if it is still not normal, only to use the non-parametric test. And then the second assumption that you need to meet is the homoscedasticity of the variance, or the variance should be equal. You need to use a Levin's test. Okay. I think Dr. Samji gonna cover because the assumption is the same like in ANOVA. Okay. All right. Other than that, you need to check whether there are outliers, extreme values. Okay. Try to open the SPSS. Then let's do this together. How to? Where's my SPSS? Analyze. How to do that? Analyze. Descriptive. Explore. Lah, tak ingat dah. Macam mana nak go through other test ni? This is the basic thing that you need to check every time you do a statistical test. You need to check the assumption of normality and also homoscedasticity of the variance. And then what you need to put here. How about the education level? Tinggalkan what? Oh, very good. Okay. Okay, in terms of checking the variable, you only need to do one at a time. Because definitely for the education level, it is what kind of variable? The education level. Is it interval, ratio? What's another two? Ordinal or nominal? Is educational level nominal or ordinal? Nominal. Nominal or ordinal?
Ordinal.
Nominal or ordinal? Yeah, the level should be ordinal lah. But anyway, that's not so important. Uh, because for the FSS one, we don't have to check for the nominal and ordinal variable. Definitely they are not gonna be normal. Okay, so that's why you want to check the normality of the interval and ratio variables on. Okay, so because I think there's some student ask me about this question, but only one student asked, but the rest didn't ask. So I'm not sure what's the EDA result gonna be there. That when I check the assignment. Alright, I think maybe what you can check. I like to use the Instagram with the normality plot. Okay, then click. Okay, laju. Okay lah. Actually, you need to refer the practical sheet, but actually this part didn't really explain in details. Histogram normality plot with test. Done? Okay ya. Ni dah buat banyak kali dah. Kacang je. Okay, from here you can see. Is it normal? Macam mana? How about the test of normality? Which one to use? Homogram or Shapirovic? Lupa dah. Yelah, apa sample size berapa? N berapa? N equals what? 161. So you use entah KS. So here check the P. Still remember what is the hypothesis test of the KS? Lupa dah. What's the hypothesis? KS or Shapiro? What's the null hypothesis? Itu dia punya apa ni probability. Null hypothesis. You dah belajar dah hypothesis testing. What is the every statistical test? There's a hypothesis test that you need to write. KS distribution is it's normal or not normal? Normal. What's the P there? 0.2 lah. Mana 0.1? Is 0.2 larger than 0.05? So meaning that you fail to reject what? Fail to reject? Fail to reject HO. That means HA is we use HA, meaning that distribution is normal. Okay, clear about this part. The rest, I think Dr. Samli is going to cover. We're going to explain details. Can actually there's a slide. I put like back to back here. There's one important concept that in statistics, there's no such thing as accepting the null hypothesis. Okay, but in the practical sheet, it explains about the accepting. When you fail to reject, when you fail to reject null, then you when you fail to reject null, then you accept alternative. But it's actually you need to use the term of fail to reject. not accept something. Okay, clear? Actually, the easiest way is by looking at the distribution. Apa ni? Hang. Should I hide this? Okay, everything's normal, right? Looks normal, right? You don't have to do anything, but can you see any extreme values here? Yeah, I say that there's some extreme values. It's up to you. Follows the rules of the removing of the outliers. If you think this number is valid, you maintain as it is. If you think it is an error from recording, or if you think it's error from other parts, you remove it. Okay, next. Now, after everything is normal, we use. Let's go through the process of conducting the t-test, independent t-test in SPSS. This process, this t-test is also called as independent. Okay, because we are like studying two different groups. In this case, what is the groups that we are studying? Gelak. Saya cakap tadi. What group? Because we are still doing the practical of the studying of the dependent and dependent variable. Education level was high. So in this test, what are we looking at? What different are we looking? What you would like to determine? The height of what? Two groups. What's the group? SPM, no SPM dengan at least SPM. Okay. So basically, we use independent sample t-test when we would like to see the difference between two groups. Okay. You use PET sample. This is a detailed explanation I highlighted earlier. When you are studying the same group in a different time, most of the time is different time lah. And then one sample t-test is straightforward. You are studying difference between your group with the specific number. In this case, population lah. Specific number, if let's say we would like to study whether is the gender of this class, is the height of female in this class is higher than the female height of previous batch. We already have the average of female height of previous batch. We just use that number to compare, meaning that we are comparing with one specific number. It's not like a group or anything. Okay. Later we gonna go through the example one by one. I didn't cover this one, but anyway, straightforward lah. Okay, where were we earlier? Mana dah tadi? Okay, jom buat t-test, open the SPSS, analyze, compare mean, independent sample t-test, done. What's the test variable? Okay, tengok je. Height, education level, grouping variable. But before you proceed with OK, of course, you cannot even click OK. You need to define the groups first. Use specified values. If let's say, not let's say, but before you go to that, let's check what values or label that earlier researcher give. So in this case, because usually you are the one that label the data lah. In this case, it's already given to you. So just check to the variable view. In the variable view, please let me know if I'm moving too fast, because I think you guys should be familiar with the SPSS by now. Go to variable view. If you like to know what's actually the values of what is actually the label given for each group, you can check in the values column, then you can check here. So basically, the earlier researcher or this practical has given 1 to error. 1 is the label for the at least SPM. Number 2 is for the no qualification. So for the analyze, compare means independent sample test, you need to give the number again. All right. Following with the label given earlier. Okay, then just click OK. The rest we just maintain as it is. Then click OK. Done. Any question before we move? We move already. Okay. I think the t-test is the easiest one. It's hang. Boleh? Let's move it fast so that you guys can do on your own. Boleh? Where's the ABC? So you can check the results. Okay. First, let's go through the output of the group statistic. So in this case, you can see that it is like divided into the number of sample are divided into 2 groups. The first one, at least SPM, you can see that the N meaning the number of subjects, 119. Then for the no qualification is 42. So from here, you can see that the mean itself is different. Okay, if you know that it is different, why you need to do the t-test in the first place? The reason why we would like to the reason why we do a t-test because we like to compare whether the height in this case are the height of no SPM is different with SPM. Okay, actually you can just average the sample and then you get the mean. Then you can see it from here that the mean of those who we have at least SPM is 162.85, which is higher than the no qualification. So from the mean itself, you can use you can see that they are different, right? Why we still need to do t-test? What's the function of t-test? Random. Out of nowhere, random. Why we need to do t-test? To look for differences in mean. To look for differences in mean, of course, we're gonna to look differences in mean, but we also need to consider their standard deviation, essentially. So that's why I think Dr. Samdi is gonna explain to you tomorrow, but maybe I can highlight a little bit what the. Actually, you guys should listen to the lecture first before we go to Disney. I just write the formula of t-test. This is the formula of t-test. We are not going to go into details about the formulation. Actually, you can use by hand. I don't think there going to be any question in the test or exam about calculating manually of the t-test. But this is the formula. what we are looking at from this formula is, we like to see whether two things. Bring item. No noise. Keep quiet, no noise. Wait. Bagi saya draw ni dulu. Okay, if let's say you have two sample, let's say you have learned about the normal distribution, right? Alright, so basically, the first formula, the up here, the signal is, we are comparing the means. At least you know lah what you are doing. Apa ni? Different between group means. You have two groups, right? So basically you are like x1 minus x2 lah. This one, for this case of this educational level, what's the educational level of what? No SPM, deduct with SPM, for example lah. Okay. You are comparing means. This is the first formula. That refers to the signal. And then for the noise, it's actually we like to see the variability of groups. This is the formula lah, variability of group. What different between group means? This one is variability of groups. Noise refers to variability of groups. You have learned about the confidence interval, right? So it's actually if they overlap, definitely you can say that they are not different, right? But if the overlap is small, there's still a chance that they can be different. That's where you need to do a test. Okay. A little bit about that, but let's go through. I have done this part. All right, let's go through the next one. Again, there's another assumption that you need to meet, need to test. The first one I highlighted about the normality, right? It's quite straightforward. I think you guys are quite pro about that. But how about the homogeneity of variance? You also need to check. Can you guys see that homogeneity of variance? Okay, to see. So next, you need to check the homogeneity of variance. You can use Levene's test. Let's check the output. So, all right. For any test, especially involving statistics that have the probability, you need to write the hypothesis test. So in this case, for the Levene's test, the null hypothesis or HO variance are equal. Then the alternative or HA, small a, variance are not equal. It's okay, I'm gonna give you guys a slide. Okay. Then for the Levene's test, you need to check it here. Can you guys see? How about the online one? Hopefully you guys can see the cursor of my mouse. Where is it? Okay, here, the significant. Actually, I put it in a slide so it's easier for you to see. All right, so you can see that 0.105, it is larger than 0.05, meaning that you fail to reject null, meaning that variance are not terbalik ni. Is it? Is variance equal or not? Fail to reject. Oh, fail to reject. Ya lah, betul lah. Sorry, fail to reject. I confused lah. Fail to reject petang-petang ni. Fail to reject null, meaning that variance are equal. Alright. If the variance are equal, you need to use the top row result. Okay. If the variance are not equal, you can still proceed, but you need to use the bottom row, meaning that you can see the definition here. We use the top row if the significant of the relevance test not significant, the variance are equal, you use the top row. If the variance are not equal, you use the bottom row. Okay. So let's go through another test. Now we go to the test that we want. Go to the t-test for equality of means. All right. So you can see first, of course, again, you need to write the hypothesis. What's the hypothesis for this test? Can someone volunteer, right? I think Dr. Samjis has given you this kind of practice, right? Ada kan? Kita tengok notes dia ada. Saya padam lah. What's the null? What's the alternative of this here? For this research question. Sebenarnya dah ada dalam slide saya. Tapi saya tengok. Berapa orang pun saya tak ingat apa yang mana. Anyone would like to volunteer? Sofita je saya kenal. Nama lah. Want to try, Sofita? Tulis. Null. Tak ada lelaki langsung. Yang mana? Tak ada. Ni pula lah row column ni. Siapa? Alternatif. You tunggu null, you just write lawan alternatif. Kalau null salah, alternatif salah. Oh, come on, we want to go back at 60. You guys semua duduk campus? Tak duduk campus, duduk luar. Oh, duduk luar, duduk sendiri ke? Family? Oh, family lah. Kat mana? Jangan jauh juga lah. Jangan waktu ni jam lah. Jam. So balik lagi lewat lah, pukul 8. Oh, duduk bila? So tidur, esok balik. Oh, event apa? Saya tak tahu kan? Oh, bagus. Ha? Balik lah. Usually kalau null hypothesis, dia no different tau. We always start the null with no different. Bukan, you kan dah training dengan null and alternative hypothesis. Ni untuk t-test note Notes t-test. Dan tu tidak apa? Saya tak ada note. Ada ke tak ada? See, you tak belajar lagi ni Ni dah belajar ni, betul lah no effect. Meaning usually no different null hypothesis. Then macam mana? Okay, tak apa, good. The height, not good actually, but at least you change it. The height between two groups are the same. The height between two groups are different. Okay, let's go through the test. Only then, when you have the hypothesis, only then you can go through. But I think the details of the concept gonna be you're gonna go through with the summary lah. Okay, let's go through next one. Okay, so basically you need to write the long line actually. Mean height with LA SPM is equal to the mean height of subject with no qualification. But it's actually same. Alright, so because we are using the top row, you can see the number in the red box. What's the P here? Actually, we need to see on P. The P, the P value, the significant here. To tell P equal to 0.03, meaning that is it more or less than 0.05? If less, meaning that we reject. Aduh, asal ada current lagi. P equal to 0. Berapa tadi? It is less. Less than cut off value. Meaning that not normal. Tiba-tiba not normal. This can be reject. Reject null. Meaning that height between select the height between two groups are different. So meaning that the height between male and female, not male, female. The no SPM and SPM are different. One-sided and two-sided. Oh, yang baru. Oh, yang baru. Dia dah kira sekali ya. Okay, so basically untuk you dah belajar belum dengan Dr. Samji? On the ada one-sided, one tail and two tail. Dalam note saya tengok ada. Tapi dalam parametric test usually kita guna two tail. Oh, dia tak mention, dia tak highlight. Oh, okay. So basically a little bit lah the explanation, the difference. So ada current lagi ni. Saya ingat Sanji dah cover. So basically sebenarnya t-test ada dua juga. Tapi biasa memang kita guna two tail. Ada two tail. Two tail. One tail. What does it mean by two tail? Two tail. Meaning that there are two tail lah. 95% or 0.95. Remember, oh my god. Remember empirical? Because what does it mean by probability of 0.05 or 5%? Meaning that there are chance that 5% of the time there's no real difference. In any statistical test, the cutoff value or p value of 0.05 is the most common one used lah. This one is more like a gold standard. What does it mean by 5% or 5 per 100? 5 per 100. Meaning that 5 out of 100 times, there'll be a chance that there's actually no real difference. Okay, meaning that 5% of the time or 5 out of 100 times, if you do the experiments, it would result in the wrong decision. That's why we take the probability of 5%. We only reject the 5% of the time. Oh, okay. How about the t-test tadi? Okay, another one tail. For two tail, so actually you divide this 5% to 2. Meaning that 0.025 here and 0.025 here. But if one tail, all 0.05 is here. And then for the two tail, the in terms of writing the null hypothesis is different. For the two tail, it's the same that what we have learned so far lah. Meaning that if let's say the mean here, mean equal to mean 1 equal to mean group 1 equals to mean group 2. Alternative, in group 1 meaning not the same with in group 2. But for the one tail, it's different in terms of the mean where we use it. There's only one actually. Only one alternative where the one mean is larger than the mean group mean of group 1 is larger than mean group 2. Tak ada null. Okay, so that's why in parametric tests most of the time we use two tail test. Okay, actually there's a detailed explanation, but I don't want you guys to get confused, and then the detail is not being covered in the exam. Whatever it is, you only use the two tail test, meaning that in the SPSS for the latest one you use the two-sided P. Oh, this is not to say not accurate, it's not applicable for this for what we want to do. It's based on not based on it's based on what you want to see. For the one tail, we only check whether the mean 1 is it larger than mean 2. Gelap. Okay? Boleh? Don't bother so much, not to say not bother, but it's not part of the syllabus. So I don't want you guys to give so much focus there. Boleh? So in this case, the mean are different. Okay, so how about the t value? I didn't cover much about the t value because anyway you don't have to calculate manually. The t value is actually the formula is this. That pada lah. Is this one. Meaning that mana formula yang bagi tadi? Tadi yang difference between group means over x1 minus h2 over square root s1 over n1. Sorry. Okay, so basically for the t-test, not sure I want to explain about the details, how you can check. But I think no need lah. I don't want you guys to get confused. There's a way actually you guys can check the once you have the t value, you can compare with this. You still remember at math? You can compare with this. You need to determine the t value, set the significant level, then you check the number. Is it more? If it's more, then meaning you reject. If that level different, kan? But I don't want to cover on this. Is it okay? Because anyway, my task is to teach you about how to use SPSS. Let's let somebody cover on that if he wants to cover. But I don't think it's part of the syllabus. Our syllabus is on when to use SPSS. What's the rule that need to be made? Okay, done. So now, let's go open the grade.sav. Just want to demo a while, and then later you can try. Alamak, mana sikit. Yes. Okay. Buat sikit Haus lah. Haus. Lambatnya. Oh. Puan siapa nama? Saya lupa. Saya kenapa saya punya license not valid kan? Settle lah. Oh, lajunya settle. Oh, saya ada 2 SPSS. 27 pun saya ada tapi license not valid. Mana dah slow yang baru. You guys boleh guna di 27 version di SPSS. I think you guys need to renew, right? I mean the license. Macam mana you guys can renew? Oh, saya lagi nak isi trial version dia tu. Okay, now let's go through the PET sample. For the PET sample one, because we don't have the SPSS file for that particular example in the t-test sheet. So I took it from one of the book. Okay. Let's say in this case, let's say you would like to study the test apa ni? Okay, student scores on the first quiz versus the scores on the second quiz, but you are using a same students. Okay. I don't want to explain details, but I don't want students to say. But this one is much more easier. Analyze, compare means PET sample t-test. Quiz 1, quiz 2 kan? You select quiz 1, quiz 2, hold it, control, you can use left button of the mouse, click quiz 2, put it together, then okay. Then you get the result. Tara, siap. Okay. Boleh? Loading. So what you can see from here? Loading lagi. Banyak. You check, pilih sama ke? Sama je kan? Then klik je online ni. Ke saya dah off dah ni? Ada lagi kan? Saya macam tak ada orang respon saya. Ada lagi? Tadi senyap je saya ni lah. Off lah. Sian. Ada ingat semua dah tidur lah. Oh ada, okay. Tu orang yang suka. Orang kat sini juga cakap. Dah keluar belum? Ya, Allah lamanya. Apa yang buat lambat? Tekan pun tak. So tekan, tak keluar pun. So klik balik. Analyze. Analyze. Compare means. Keluar dah lah. You tak open. Dia ada dekat output dia. Sekejap je. Nak marah ni. For those who are in the Zoom, please let us know if you have any problem.
Doktor
Okay,
ambil yang
Okay, done. Kita boleh proceed. Okay, ya.
doktor ambil mana?
Hello.
Ambil
Okay,
yang
so
education dengan height.
say again.
Ambil educational level dengan height ke?
Tak, ni guna file grades.sav.
Okay.
Ada apa? Oh, ni Constantine yang latest. Tak apa, itu tak penting. Kita tak tahu. Alright, so daripada sini, kita nak tengok sama ada di quiz that answers by the students in the first quiz or second quiz higher. So from here, you can see that siapa boleh mention what is the null alternative hypothesis? What is the null here? Alah, straightforward je. Null meaning no effect. No different. Quiz 1 and quiz 2, there's no difference between mean scores of quiz 1 and quiz 2. How about alternative? There's a difference lah. Okay, in this case, what is the P? This one you don't need to check any Levin or Levon. You can use it straight away. What's the quiz pair? What's the P? Where's the P? Significant to tell. P is 0.005. You reject or you fail to reject? P less than confused. Tengok muka orang confused, saya pun confused. Reject or fail to reject? Reject lah. It's a reject region. Less than 0.05. If you reject, now this is meaning that the alternative is there's a different. Okay, meaning that there's a different. So meaning that when you maybe the first time the students answer the quiz one, they are in a in a good mood. Then after for the second test or for second quiz, not good anymore, or maybe tired after answering the quiz one. Okay, but it depends lah on what is your research question, what you want to study. Okay, clear? That's a PET t-test, quite straightforward. How about one sample t-test? This one even easier. One sample t-test, you go to analyze, compare, mean, one sample t-test. Analyze, compare means, one sample t-test. Let's say you like to study about what? What you like to study? This case apa example yang guna? Let's say quiz study, the quiz one, let's say focus on the quiz one, and then the quiz one result, the mean you like to compare with the scores of last year student. This quiz result or the scores is actually out of 10. Meaning that there are 10 questions and then there are 10 marks. Okay, if let's say last batch is very smart than you, their scores full mark, 10 out of 10. Okay, first click the quiz one first, then test value is 10. Then after that, click OK. Alright, can you see the result? The significant or total is 0.00, meaning that it's very significant, meaning that you reject the null. What's the null here? The null hypothesis here, meaning that the quiz 1 scores for this batch student is the same. It's the same with the last year batch. Last year mean score. You only take one score. And then the alternative, there are difference lah. Okay, meaning that you can see that they are very different. Okay, that's all. Which one? Terbaru. Okay, maybe ada slide ni. Okay, one sample t-test ni, we are comparing with one number. Most of the time, usually we compare with either the population, if you know the mean of the population. Okay, most of the time, we not gonna know or didn't know about the mean of the population. But in the case of the, let's say, at the same time, you also can use one sample t-test, like to compare with the known means. If let's say this batch, we like to compare the means, known means of the previous batch. You already got the specific number. In this case of the quiz 1 scores, this one is a quick example je lah. Quiz 1 score, it is actually out of 10. Maybe the average scores that you guys scores, maybe only, can't remember the quiz 1, what's the 7. But let's say the previous batch, for this quiz 1, let's say this one 2022 student, 21 students, they score full mark, 10 out of 10. So in the SPSS, you just need to put specific number of 10 there. Let's go through again. Compare means, one sample t-test, you select the quiz, and test value is 10. Okay, basically you are testing the value of 10 with your variable of quiz 1 for that particular variable that you want to study. Then you means, yeah, mean of the score. Okay. Betul lah saya cakap, betul saya cakap 7. Dekat sini mean of your batch, for example lah, your 7. Okay, and then the previous batch 10. So you can see a real difference lah. But it's very rare for you guys to use one sample t-test. It's very rare because anyway you are taking or comparing with only one number. Most of the time you're gonna use independent t-test from different groups, especially for the biological science student lah. Alright. So let's go to the most fun part. Exercise. There's exercise that you guys need to do. You guys can do this at home. Okay, for question 1, 2, 3, meaning that 1, 2, 3 here, you need to perform the following operation. Print out results. Result meaning the output. You need to not to print. Actually, you can like share it in PDF form or what. Yeah. Then circle the two means value that are being compared. For example, if let's say mean value, let's say if you are comparing two groups, circle the mean value here. Very straightforward lah. Kan? This one just to practice you how to use the test by using SPSS. So question again. Circle the appropriate significant value. Okay, be sure which one to choose, equal or unequal, and then state the reason why you use unequal. If it you need to use unequal. Using the grade 5, compare man with woman for quiz 1, 2, 3, final and total. Okay, just follow lah the rest. Quite straightforward. Basically, what we are doing in the t-test is just like comparing two groups. Only maximum of 2 groups. Dah ngantuk dah. Okay, any question? Better we finish here. Alright, any question? How about the online students? Students from online? Any
No.
question before we leave? Okay, you guys need to submit by next Monday. I don't want to give for so long. Because I think one of the reasons why you cannot score well is because you one by one. Tak boleh buat terus. Print je, tu highlight je. Mana Zoom student? Itulah. Saya dah hilang lah. Oh ada gitu. Sebab saya punya hilang. Macam mana nak buka Zoom student? Alright guys, any question? I don't have any recording. I didn't record. Oh, tanya personal. Sorry lah tercakap. So, I don't have any recording, but you can ask students who are like attend the session or maybe attend the face-to-face session and they understand it better. Alright guys, thank you very much. Let me know if you have any problem. You can always come to my office if you have a problem. Don't forget that you need to submit by next Monday. I put it like deadline. Well, should be Sunday night lah. Okay, I don't want to give long view because I think one of the reason why you couldn't score the test is like you only attend the EDA after the test. I should put a deadline for the test. Okay, maybe I'm too soft with you guys. All right, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you, Doctor.
Doktor.